Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a quick little review of this new Charli XCX EP, Vroom Vroom! UK pop singer Charli XCX, a musical artist who up to this point I have found excruciatingly bland, but on this new EP, she teams up with PC music producer SOPHIE, one of my favorite producers right now. I think one of the most creative producers out there at the moment. SOPHIE's 2015 singles compilation was one of my favorite collections of tracks of 2015. SOPHIE makes pop music and electronic dance music with a kooky, wild, eccentric, experimental edge. And SOPHIE's aesthetic and PC music's aesthetic is very much a play on manufactured pop artists with very gaudy looks and fashion senses, and Charli XCX is like almost all of that. She checks all of those boxes. So I guess SOPHIE can do what he usually does without having to manufacture anything. And for the most part, Charli XCX is kind of bending to the whims of SOPHIE. She is very much being plugged into a very similar role to that of many other singers that have popped onto PC music songs in the past. I think the greatest compliment that I can give this EP is that SOPHIE and Charli XCX, they complement each other on pretty much every single track here, even on the song that I think is the weakest track here, and that's Trophy. A track that's fast, it's kooky, it's hyperactive, it's a little gimmicky with a silly repetitive chorus. There's not too much in the way of substance to the song. It's the shortest track here, though I think it would have been improved greatly if it had just been made a bit longer. And as far as Charli's vocals on this thing, SOPHIE sees fit to just kind of leave them be. He's not chipmunking them or anything like that, which has consistently been an issue that I've had with a lot of PC music releases, though it does grab my ear. It's not entirely necessary, and I think Charli XCX proves that with vocals that, while they aren't chipmunked, they still grab my attention with an incredible amount of sass, and they're sort of cheeky too, as she says stuff like, "Bitch, I'm here to fuck you up," which is maybe the most Death Gripsy thing I've ever heard come out of her mouth. The song Secret, I think, is the track on here that is the closest to her original style. The vocal melody is really catchy and reminds me of something like, I don't know, something Christina Aguilera might have done in the 2000s. The vocals are very clean, they're very radio friendly, I think, but then they're backed with these whimpering, just squeaking tones and kind of a groaning banger beat that is so odd, but it's visceral and I can't help but just move to it. And I like how this instrumental and many other instrumentals here are just constantly changing in flavor and I guess energy and intensity. It's very angular. The song Paradise is a blissful little ballad that is very spacious, it's very sweet. It kind of takes the most sugary elements of house pop from the 2000s and then dips them in maple syrup and rolls them around in brown sugar. It's high, future, hyper, gloss, lasers flying at your face. And then with the lead single from this thing, Vroom Vroom, the track that I guess kind of drives this whole collaboration, we have some driving synth bass. It's a kind of ballsy intro that just drops away instantaneously for a very spacious, simple beat that leaves a lot of room for Charli to do what she's doing vocally, which is just talking a lot of shit. And it's a fun track. I just like how gutsy and in your face and unapologetically braggadocious it is. It's very modern, it's very contemporary in that it sounds like very narcissistic, very me-centric pop music, but the instrumental tells a different story. It's so weird, it's so mutated in a way where it sounds like I'm listening to something not new, but something from the future, like something from pop's dystopian future where the genre has essentially just started to swallow its own tail out of love for itself but also hate for itself. But without getting too up my own ass and just conceptual about the whole thing, I think these tracks are great. They're very fun. Easily the best thing I think Charli XCX has been involved in, and SOPHIE just kills it once again. This project to me is SOPHIE just extending what he has been doing so far with his singles, just with Charli XCX along for the ride. And in a way, I think they both enhance what the other does. It's nice that Sophie has a singer with a well-known name, and you know, he's not chipmunking the vocals on here, not giving into those vocal gimmicks that I know PC music projects have in the past. And Charli XCX, it's almost like she's being driven to do something a little more interesting, a little more risky, really challenging her listeners on this project to hear out some very odd production. My only huge complaint is really that I want more. I like this collection of tracks a lot. I'm feeling a decent strong 8 on this thing. Transition.
Have you given this EP a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You the best, you the best. What should I review next? Hit that like if you like. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Charli XCX.
Sophie. Forever.